I mean,
that's the change part.
Yeah, and to look at his life is an example of, you know, how one should be, or how one should act, or how one should move throughout life if they've been through a situation like that. You have to accept some of the things that society gonna throw at you, you know, and you have to know that it's coming. You know, if you're in a relay race or what have you, you know, you're going to have your obstacles where you have to jump over, you know, different obstacle courses, go through different things of that nature. But once you understand what's in front of you, you can better prepare yourself for that. And like getting that job, just going back to that, how difficult was it getting that job? And then I understand, like, getting the job. I mean, I'm pretty sure you were happy to get the job, but then where your mindset was at as far as the goals in that job, because what you said was you got the opportunity to, you know, advance in that particular industry or the job that you had. But was that on your mind initially? And I know you said you did sought after the person that was in charge, but what was some of your goals in accomplishing that? I know getting their attention and things of that nature. But once you got to that point, was you looking to go higher, or was you looking to branch out to do something yourself at that particular time?
So at first I was on the back of the trash truck. I did that the whole time as a temp. By the time I got into the trash truck after I had got hired, I went and got my CDLs because they offered.
There you go.
So I want to advance. Any room I go in, I told my wife this last night, I said, any room I go in, I'm trying to go to the top of the room. If somebody jumping away to stop me, then we need to be partners. And it was just keeping that mentality, it always caused me to do well. I might not even make it to the top or to the front of the room, but I make it further than the people that's not aggressive enough in their pursuits. So anytime I do so, I'm gonna do it well. I'm gonna put my mind to it. I'm gonna be professional. I'm gonna show up on time. That's part of the mentality of a winner. Right. You got to learn these things. People respect certain qualities and characteristics, or you're gonna be who you are when I'm not looking. And when they know you a dependable person like that, like you skip over. I've met so many people who are quote unquote famous, and I treat them normal, and then they give me their real phone number. Swear, like, because I don't treat you like, because I know you just got God talent. And somebody discovered it and put it in. So I never treat you famous. And I think that humbles a lot of them. And they like it. Like, bruh, take my number. And then I end up not calling because I'm not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but
you're not after that.
Nah, but this, and I'm going to show you this. And this is just yesterday. This is how it works. So this is Michael Eric Dyson. This is the dude. It's my new H-Rap brand. This is the dude who I sought after. So we've been texting.
We're going to work on pulling up that clip. We was having technical difficulties.
Yeah, he actually is my guy. You know what I'm saying? So I texted him the other day, like, hey, man, what's up? Where you at? I'm in Orlando. What we going to do? So let's rap Monday.
Oh, he's in Orlando?
Yeah, no, he's in Tennessee. I'm in Orlando. Okay. So we met up in my hometown, and we always kept in touch because he's like, bro, you way different. Like, you're not even trying to get nothing from me. I didn't even ask him for that video. He was in a hotel in Detroit and just thought about it. Like, bro, let me shoot it to you. And send it to me. I was like, cold shot, man. Like, I cried. I know almost word for word, but I said that to say the mentality that I had in there was to advance. Once I finally got my own truck with the little robot on, I'm comfortable. I'm cool now. Like, ain't no beating me. Only thing I'm just not a supervisor, which is cool because they not union. I'm still union. This is top of the food chain. On truck in the morning. They keep it clean for me. I got my music in there. I'm winning. But my brain is huge. And remember, I got all these plans that didn't include me being in this trash truck.
But it took humility to do that.
Yeah, because God not gonna give you nothing.
That's right.
At all until you earn it.
That's right.
You might earn it this way, but you might end up with this. That was my test. You got the talent. You already did the books. You already got the mentality. You already got the story. You got everything you need to do what you want to do. But I'm gonna see if you're gonna respect what I'm gonna tell you to do. And I did. My father the fentanyl craze happened in 2017 to my father. Somebody gave him some crack with fentanyl in it. He smokes it. It busts his heart. Me and my siblings. He had 4 siblings after me by his wife. They all went to college. They was raised different because he married a church woman. They was raised without him, but different. But he could come and go. But their mom was a foundation. That just show you the whole. They grew up in the same house that I grew up in with him. By the time their mom decided I'm gonna go back to my house and he could just run the streets because he's not gonna run me away from my house, She had kid after kid after kid. Why he was still getting high? And all these kids went to college and they done well, but they my little siblings. So I'm the ragamuffin of the family, but they love me to death. Because, bro, you the true. We done heard about it, like legendary, but y'all my little siblings. But I had to walk them in the house and see him on the ground with his Carhartt on. And it's directly across from the house we grew up in. I cussed him out on the ground in front of him. How dare you leave me out here by myself, dude? Like, you all I really had, like, period. Like, I got a stepmom and, you know, my grandma, but she got 15 other grandkids. Me and you, we locked in. And I kept telling you, come out of that mud, bro. I'm out. Come out. He wouldn't come out. He died. I couldn't go back to work after that. I could not go back. I just couldn't mentally get up and go back in there because I was the life of the party. Every morning, I'm the dude that got everybody, you know, I got jokes and I'm, you know, everybody like me. Now I'm not that. And I'm mean now. I don't play. I don't want to joke. I'm not laughing. And I don't want to offend these brothers. So I said, before I go in there and make myself, you know, look like a fool by having some emotional outbursts, I did what most black men are afraid to do. I went and reported to my supervisor. They told me that you can get FMLA. I went and got my FMLA. I went and sat in front of a white guy with a little messed up hand. But he was sensitive to what I had going on. And that man listened to me for 6 sessions. And told him, yeah, he don't need to go back to work. He can use the rest of his. I stayed off until February the 14th. They said, you got to come back on the 15th. I went in there on the 14th and I put my 2-week notice in. And I used the rest of the time that I had in my vacation for that. I ain't coming back. And I told myself at that moment, now it's time to do what you said you was going to do. Here's a moment where you at your lowest. You know what I mean? You don't even have a job. I probably had about $1,500 in savings. How can you quit a job paying you $40,000 a year with some good overtime and you don't have nothing? I have faith though. You know what I mean? I know my story was big enough to affect change. All these young men on the front of this book, this is not a motto. Come in, take pictures. No, these were all little dudes who, if I put a call out, hey, we're gonna come out today, we're gonna go play, they coming. So they ended up being my first programmers when there was no money involved at all. It was just me, my little budget, and me trying to help dudes whose fathers are dead or incarcerated, because I understood what it felt like to have one but not have one. And that's kind of how it happened with me, man. The story, sometimes when I say it out loud, it amazes me. You know what I'm saying? That I'm still surviving. I'm still positive. I'm still, you know what I'm saying? I'm still here. Yeah. But it's a testimony and a testament to God, because nothing, I always tell my grandma that, like, I know I'm very intelligent. I know I got the gift of gab. I know I'm a solid man, but none of those things happen without God at all. Like, none of this, period. So if anybody take anything from it, you know, truth and change, respect, revenge, with me, you got to say, understand that none of that happens if you don't put God first. You can become the smartest man in the world, like Solomon, and then write the book of Ecclesiastics, man. There had to be a most depressing time in his life to write that. Every time I read, I'd be like, bro, you shouldn't have messed with that lady on that hill.
How did he go from that?
But he still had the same knowledge, but you didn't apply what God said. That's all he told you. That was a smart request. I made the same exact prayer, bro. As I went through that Bible and decided, okay, all this is me, but I get to pick one now. You know, I'm gonna pick him here and I'm gonna pick Yeshua there. Well, Solomon is my guy. This is my man's. You know what I mean? David, I rocks with him. Him and the Bathsheba and Uriah move. I could see that, but I didn't relate well with that one. I related with Solomon because I had 600 wives and 300 concubines.
It was close to heart.
You feel me? So it hit home for me. But I understood.
That blood was in your line.
Yes, sir.
It's in the DNA.
I understood what he meant when he wanted the most. He said, I want to be the wisest man. Because wisdom is the application of knowledge.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
that was like,
difference.
He killed him with that prayer, not make me the most knowledgeable man. No. I want to be the wisest man. That means I'm the one that's applying the knowledge. And look what happened for him financially. He built a temple. Like, he did it all. He had people coming from far and long to see him because he was faithful to what God had said.
Yes.
The moment he wasn't,
yes.
woe is me.
So let's talk about it. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for and about the young black male.
Very specific.
So this book is pretty much for the young black male in the inner city that's going through some of the same struggles that you went through. Reading this book is what's going, because you also said in there, you want to give them a guide, something that can always be with them. You want to share that a little bit?
No doubt. So the book itself, man, You got a lot of books that's just written and they're not targeted. People are ashamed to target it because young black males don't buy books. You're not going to be the best-selling author. So,
depending on them.
but I guess what I do, I trick them. You know what, bro? I like you. It's free. You know what I'm saying? It's free. And the reason why I'm like that with this is because, for one, you're not going to always be around. I'm not going to always be around. Just like I look at this as a young, and please don't take my comparison wrong, but a young man, this is a young man's Bible, not Bible in the sense of your spiritual teachings, but you probably need to roll this up and put this in your pocket and just keep referring to it like, damn, what OG say about self-confidence? Because I'm like, you know what I mean? So, and I want to make sure that not only is it aimed at them, but it was written by one of us. Because a lot of times people tell us what's best for us, like this whole Children's Bureau, like it blows me, man. How in the world is a system and a group of people going to tell black people what's best for black children when your white children ain't even in control? Like they run up and, you know what I mean? Like, so that's an awkward mentality for me. It's like a lion. He's not going to go off and try to tell a deer, like, this is how you stay quiet. This is how you do this. He's going to be setting him up for failure.
You're going to eat me.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. And when I say they, I don't mean specifically just white people, because it ain't just white. I'm talking about the system.
Right.
I'm saying when I say they, I mean the elites. Let me say that. So the elites have a purpose and design to destroy us. And it's not new. It happened in what they call the Old Testament, which is the scriptures. And then it happened again in the New Testament, which they, for the, Europeans or whatnot. Right. It happens, though. They want to destroy a specific group of young men before you evolve into becoming a Messiah, one who leads his people, an anointed one. So it's not just one, it's a lot of those. And they're afraid for them to manifest. I'm not him for sure. But what if one word I say might spark something in him? Yeah. And then he grow up and be that. And I get to rock in my chair like, boy, look at him go, boy.
You know what? You said something powerful. Like, I mean, I wrote a book and I said that might not be it, but if I can put you on a journey to seeking and finding that which is it, I did my job. And I think with your book, regardless of, what you just mentioned, if you can put them on a journey to seeking out, you did your job.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of information, a lot of knowledge in this book that if one was to pick up and truly read it, it's going to enhance their mind, period. And it's going to make them a better person if they apply the information in there. You have a lot of, it's like a workbook, if you will.
Absolutely.
I mean, because if you read one of the chapters, you go in there, you answer some of the questions. A lot of times, that's that innate part. Well, I would say that that's when we start to, that information is impressed on the mind.
Right. Because you use two different type of learning skills in doing so. Right. And then even in that portion, so it's only the first 10 chapters that's the truth portion. Because I teach you the truth, I want you to regurgitate it. Right. Like I drop a big word in the book that I didn't even know when I dropped it. I went and looked it up. Vicissitudes, right? Okay. And it means the ups and downs. Simple word, but it's a huge college level word. Yeah. So I purposely dropped it in the book in the sentence. And now everybody, when we get to that portion, I'm proud because I'm about to teach them this word, and I'm guaranteeing you they're going to use this word because it's an impressive word. Yeah. So I'm psychologically playing a game with the kids as I'm writing the book. So I don't like to give this book away. You know what I like to do? I like to teach the book. That's what I do. Yeah. Like, because when you stand in front of them and they can see that rawness in you. Even my brother, who was the total opposite of me, one of my brothers is a preacher, one of my brothers is a police officer. Sounds crazy, though. Same house, too. Yeah. Both of them we all got a heart for the community. So one of them who works in the school, I gave him the curriculum. Go in there, you can teach it. He can teach it with so much sauce because this my big brother we talking about. I know it's real. Right. My brother who's a cop, he can do the same thing because this my big brother we talking about. I know it's real. My job as Big Homies of America, that's another one of the organizations I started. I wanted to teach other people how to teach it. So what I did was I paid dudes $50 to come to the class, just the adults, so I can teach you how to teach it so you can go out and teach it as well. Because sometimes if you give this to a young man, it's going to challenge him. You know what I mean? I want it to be challenging. Right. I brought it to a level to where it can be understood by the common man, but it has to challenge. I want to stretch you. I want to ask you, do you know what a synthetic drug is? So you can just say it.
Grow.
Yeah. So now you can use these terms and these words. And I've watched my young men talk to their mamas, and their mamas come back and say, How my son know more than me? I'm like, what you talking about? Well, he know that his subconscious mind is like the vehicle and the driver is the consciousness. That, and it's like, if you, I'm like, well, how you know that? Because he said it good. Pick the book up. You're supposed to read it with him as a family anyway.
See, because it's points like that that's in the book that when I'm going to clarify or add on when you talk about the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
We know the Bible is the greatest book ever written.
Mm-hmm.
However, we have to be honest. See, truth says the Bible has been with us, but has it by itself changed our condition?
No, sir.
It has not.
No, sir.
So what does that mean? That means we, as the disciples of Christ,
apply that.
See, I'm not the Christ, but I know that his blood is in my veins.
Absolutely.
And I have a job to do. And if I can spark another young man, when you can spark another young man to be like him, is where that happened. See, that thing about the conscious and the unconscious mind, it's hard for a young man that look like us, that then went through challenges and struggles. If he's looking at people that don't look like him and don't talk like him and haven't shared his experiences, they not go get it. They go turn from it. And the streets are waiting for them. And we know that it's going to take them to prison. All of them aren't like that. Some are intellectuals and they can go right through the system. But we know the prisons are full of us. We have to be able to stop that. And the change portion is being able to understand that consciousness, where a young man has to be able to read that book and know the difference. To like, how do I deal with all this anger? Now you can deal with that anger with a gun, but there's a result for doing that.
Absolutely.
But there's another way to deal with that anger. But you got to be able to make the choice. See, truth and change is about being able to make a conscious decision of how to live. See, the Bible is a book of life. We have to be the embodiment of that book.
Absolutely.
And this is a part of that book. See, I'm privileged. I sit amongst two authors. We were taught not to read.
Right.
At one point, we were killed if we were caught reading. So now not only are we reading, we're publishing.
Right.
And then not only are we publishing the truth, and we publishing a message for the salvation of our people. Now, I look forward to working with all good people on the planet, regardless of your race, creed, or color. But there's a special work we need to do amongst our people first.
Absolutely.
Because the other folk are not going to do that for us. Quite frankly, it's not their job.
Right.
It's our jobs. And see, I'm honored when someone takes up that mantle and says, you know what? I'm going to take on that responsibility and make it happen. Truth and change is one of the elements that's making that happen.
No doubt. Appreciate that.
Now you said some powerful stuff, and I got to show the book and make sure everybody understands. If you're going to just let us know later on, we can talk about it throughout how they can get this book. But you said something that was key. When we talk about the Bible, and we know the Bible is wisdom, when the scriptures say wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom. But with all that get understanding.
Absolutely.
And see, when it comes to this here, this is understanding to the wisdom that we receive from the Bible. My book is understanding to the wisdom that we receive from the Bible. When we as disciples begin to write books with understanding, that's how the people begin to pick up on the knowledge of life,
right.
Self. You, like my brother said, you talk about a lot of deep stuff in here. And I know we're coming up on, we can get into this, brother. I already told you, we're gonna have some shows, because we just breaking into probably the introduction of the book. Talking about truth. It's so much in here, and it's not even that big, but it's so much information, so much knowledge in this book. You can just begin to just study parts of it, study a chapter.